Howdy fellas, I hope you're faring well. I had a very interesting comment on a video the other day from a viewer in Iraq. He was concerned about the safety of the breech plug and the barrel being two different pieces, and he wondered how could you fire that without causing injury to yourself. Well, the best way I know to explain that is that that breech plug is threaded and the barrel is threaded. So to show that, the best way I know how is this bolt and this nut. The breech plug is threaded like the bolt and the nut is threaded like the barrel. And once that nut is tightened up against that bolt head, it's not very readily going to pull apart. In other words, it's more or less locked in there if it's torqued down good. Then on top of that, you have a screw that runs from the tang of that breech plug down into the trigger plate, which holds it in there as well. In a modern gun, most of them are assembled that way. You know, threaded barrel, threaded receiver. So it is safe to a point. And that brings me to another thought. Is safety when you're out shooting your muzzleloader. All the rules of a modern firearm apply to a muzzleloader as well, but there are some exceptions. One of the worst things you can ever do when you load your muzzleloader is to not get that ball or conical all the way down on your powder charge. And it leaves an air gap in between the powder charge and that ball. And it becomes an obstruction. It would take quite a bit of pressure in these modern muzzleloaders to explode that barrel, but it can happen. One way you can work around that is your ramrod. Is take it out and drop it down in your barrel when it's unloaded so you can see what that looks like. And then when you figure out what powder charge shoots the best in your muzzleloader, once you got it loaded, you take notice of where that ramrod is in relation to the ball being all the way down on the powder. And then either make a mark with a Sharpie, or traditionally you would make a notch with a file or your knife to show where that ramrod would be once it's loaded properly. And also another thing a lot of people don't think about is the greatest thing you can do with a firearm is keep your nose picker off the bang switch. I don't know of a gun that's in proper working condition anywhere that's going to fire if you don't pull the trigger. So you want to take things like that in consideration. And with a flintlock, some people would be concerned you've got the pan charged, you've got the hammer on the half cocked. What happens if that hammer you was to hit something and break it off and strike that hammer face and cause a spark? Well, one thing you can do is you can either make or purchase a hammer stall that goes down over that hammer, or prison as modern terminology is, to keep that gun going off, or like somebody gets mad for no reason, going off half cocked. That's one safety. But when it comes right down to it, fellers, common sense is the greatest safety you can have. Do a little thinking. If you're doing something and you think, well, you know, that don't seem right, or you think I could get hurt, if you think so, then consult with somebody you know that's a safe shooter, and make sure that what you're doing is not going to cause harm to you, a bystander, or your firearm. So just keep all those things in mind. Use a little common sense. Get out, keep calm, burn powder, and have a great time. I appreciate you watching. From me in the spirit of Jake, God bless you. Keep your powder dry and mind your top knot, pilgrim.